Okay, it's recording.
Okay, so is mine.
All right. All right, everybody. My name is Isha Nathu.
And mine is Ian Bedessa.
Welcome to our ideal study space presentation. For the contents of this presentation, it's going to be divided into 3 parts. The first part is going to be us explaining things in English. So basically in class, we were given this document that had blurbs written in Spanish. And these blurbs were about explaining like what makes a good study space and some ideas. So we translated all that into English, which is what we'll explain. The second part will be a drawing. This is like using the information that we learned from the first part. We crafted a study space and we drew it out, and we're going to be talking about that. And then lastly, we're going to explain like why. So it's connecting the dots again, sort of learning like what makes a good study space. And then we're going to explain like why we thought, you know, the way we position things and the way we laid out our study room is like why that's the best way to do it. So yeah, let Ian take it away.
So for this first part, like Isha said, we are translating Spanish blurbs to English. So for this diagram, we were given it from our teacher, and it's basically a breakdown of like what the ideal study space for our students is. So como organizar el lugar de estudio. So again, it's going step by step on what the ideal study space is. And then in this next slide we'll be explaining it, like translating it from Spanish to English. So for the first little blurb, it translated to study well and form good study habits, it's best to have a designated place to study, meaning like you just want a repetitious place where you can go to. So like a desk in your room, so that like when you sit down, it's like clicks in your head that you are now in studying mode. The second, it's better to study with natural light instead of artificial light. If you do use artificial light, make sure it's less than 60 watts. And then third, it's always important to maintain your study setup. So for example, keeping an organized desk, maybe a whiteboard to write down all your tasks, and have all your study materials ready and close by so that you are prepared and ready to go for any sort of assignment.
Okay, so our fourth point is you want to make sure that your study place is comfortable. You want it to be clean. You want to make sure it's not like messy. Make sure you have a good temperature that you're comfortable working in. Just make sure your environment is like nice enough that you are comfortable to study there. And you also want to avoid distractions like your phone, music, talking to friends, anything that'll take your focus away from the task at hand. So now we are going to show you our drawing. And this is using all of our ideas of what makes a good study space and putting that into action and creating a sort of drawing for what we think a good study space would look like. So aquí hay una computadora, un grande escritorio, el tablero, un armario para muchas cosas, luz natural, plantas de interior, materiales para estudiar y una silla cómoda.
So from the previous slide with our drawing, we wanted to break it down even more in Spanish with some blurbs of our own to explain again what we envision as our ideal study space for students. So uno, queremos la ventana delante del escritorio porque hay luz natural. Dos, El Mario tiene el teléfono, música y otras distracciones. El estudiante puede estudiar bien cuando está tranquilo.
3. Para la estudiante que tenemos silla muy cómoda, temperatura confortables y plantas. Número 4. El tablero tiene información importante. El área de estudio está organizada. And that was our presentation. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Let's see.